Hello, fine folks of the internet. Welcome to Small Stories Around the NFL. I'm your host, Dave, and today we're diving into week 11. And in today's episode, we're going to talk to you about the craziness that was week 10. We've got injuries, we've got fantasy explosions, we've got wild upsets, and we've got some speculations to dive into. So let's go. In the small stories segment, I'll be going over some of the developing stories on a week-to-week basis. For example, big game matchups, underdog stories, player news, and all the other notable highlights. If there's something that you want to discuss, make sure to leave a comment and let me know. And before we get going, please leave a like to support the channel. And if you want to follow along, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification for future videos. And please, let me know, what blew your mind in week 10. Let's pull up some of the scores to recap week 10 and all its volatility. Oh, this is a fun one to start with. I realize I'm actually wearing my Ravens shirt now and didn't even realize I was doing that. So, Thursday night game, the Ravens at Miami, a score of 10-22. Lamar looked frustrated, and I think he was in a position where the Miami defense was playing so well that he couldn't put the team on his shoulders for once this year. You know, they've had a lot of comeback victories, and this just wasn't one of those possibilities. They had absolutely no run game at all to lean on. You know, it was a combination of the Ravens with bad offense and Miami doing very super well on defense. They had an interception, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery touchdown as well. Their offense looked anemic. Tua looked okay. He came in after we had Mr. Brissett leave, with a knee issue. He wanted to get back out there, but Flores was like, no. And Tua came in and won the game, and he'll be starting next week because of it. Mike Gesicki let you down, big 0 in fantasy, and Mark Andrews was man mode for you if you played him, so congratulations. The wide receivers for Miami are a bunch of nobodies right now. It's kind of strange. You got Albert Wilson and Isaiah Ford. And I think for the Ravens, I think that Rashad Bateman looks like the guy going forward. Yeah, let's get away from this one. Into Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons at the Dallas Cowboys. Man, are the boys back in town? Matt Ryan, man, where were you, bud? What are you doing? Like, to the point that Rosen goes in at some point in this game, like, not great. And I mean, Dak is back, 26 fantasy points. He was spreading the ball around. He looked good. You know, both in the run game, obviously, you know, this game script 43-3. You have a 40-point win. They got to run the ball. So Zeke got to do what he does. Pollard get some of that done as well. You know, easy enough to do with such a huge lead as well. And your boy CeeDee Lamb, more like CeeDee, damn, man. 25 fantasy points. What did he have for his stats here? Let me pull this up. 6 of 7 for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he did it while leaving early with an arm contusion as well. They're saying he should be back for next week, though, which is going to be good for the boys. Cordarrelle Patterson put up 4 fantasy points before he had to leave. He's got a mild high ankle sprain, probably out for a couple of weeks. This Falcons offense is falling apart. The only real consistency is Kyle Pitts, so you can play him going forward and bet on him and for touchdowns going forward. But the Falcons seem like they're just missing Calvin Ridley a lot, and now they've got their only real guy, Cordarrelle, gone as well. It's just not a good look for them. Not a good look, but good for the boys. 7-2 Dallas Cowboys. Who would have thunk it? Jacksonville at Indianapolis, 17-23. The Jags kept this game close, which personally, that's what I bet for. I bet on the spread for Jacksonville. I thought that they would be able to do this, in division. I think they looked better than the score shows too. I think that Indianapolis played well. I think both teams did very well. A lot of good run games. A lot of good running here in the game. James Robinson looks like he's back. He did super well. What is his carries here? 12 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown, and he caught 4 balls out of 5 looks his way for 27 yards. But I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing in comparison to I think might be the RB1 on the year now in Jonathan Taylor. I mean, if you drafted Taylor or you kept him or you have him in a dynasty, you're feeling good. The guy looks unstoppable. He looks like as soon as he gets past the linebacking core, he's gone. Like you can't catch him, and he's bruising guys on every run. Like it's good for you if you own the guy. A little bit of notable things on the other side of the ball. Jonathan Agnew had a big game. I think that he may be playable going forward in fantasy if you need a waiver wire grab. It looks like he is going to see some more targets going forward, so that's a great option for you. And Dan Arnold, I think, is a must as well. Tight end position for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ugh, weird game. Cleveland Browns at the New England Patriots, 7-45. New England just absolutely dummies the Browns. Baker is an absolute bum, and I think he must be the most fragile quarterback in the NFL. He's always hurt, but like the results always show that he's fine. And I say that with a grain of salt too, because I think he's tough as hell. Like I've seen that shoulder go, and I've seen him get back out there, and it's just there's always something with him. Like he's always got something going on, and it's not fun. On the other side of the ball, though, Mac Jones looks great, and probably going to be taking the Rookie Quarterback of the Year award quite easily. He spread the ball around. He looked good. He looks like he knows what he's doing, which is all Bill Belichick needs you to do out there. The Pats look like a great team, and I hate it. Their running backs are looking great as well. Ramondre Stevenson needs Bolden to retire, so you just don't have to worry about that anymore. The guy put up 20 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he caught 4 balls. Unbelievable. Unbelievable week for Ramondre. Good for him. Good to see a rookie do that kind of stuff. But it doesn't matter because Bill Belichick will play the roulette, and Damian Harris looks like he's coming back next week too. And the question is, does it matter? And the answer is yes. One of those 3 guys is going to get the ball. Just don't know who. Cleveland, like flat across the board. Man, Jarvis Landry, brutal. I drop him, like droppable, not good. Peoples-Jones could be serviceable going forward. It all comes down to what Baker is going to do. And then other big news, Jacoby Myers got his first NFL touchdown. So congratulations, Jacoby. Well-deserved. Looking good out there, buddy. Oh, you know what? Kendrick Bourne looked good too. Go play that guy. Bills at the Jets, 45-17. The Jets look like the Jets, and the Bills look like the Bills. This game it played out exactly how you might expect. Week 1 going into the season. Obviously, you had some speculations because Mike White was coming back. He had some hype going on. And the Bills come off a big loss against Jacksonville, but no, this game went exactly as it should. Josh Allen to Diggs. Diggs was 8 for 13 for 162 yards and a touchdown. 2 of those were over 40 plus yards. All 3 running backs for the Bills got into the end zone. Breda and Singletary and Moss. So good for them. I mean, when you're up that much, you just run the ball and you're going to get results, obviously. And on the other side of the ball, Michael Carter, he's a stud. Like, even in a losing script against the Bills, the guy's putting up 17 fantasy points. Just play him. He's great. Good rookie. Lions at the Steelers. The Lions are undefeated in November. Let that one sink in. All right? Obviously, for week 1, bye week 2, they tie. They didn't lose a game, which is incredible. This game was so freaking boring. It was Najee Harris running the ball, and then it was DeAndre Swift running the ball. The conditions were brutal. Jared Goff hurt his hand early on, so he really couldn't throw the ball well. Mason Rudolph. I don't know. He's supposed to be playing again starting next week against the Chargers. I wouldn't trust any wide receivers on either of these teams right now. You can't. TJ Hawkinson, goose egg, unbelievable. And in injury news, TJ Watt had an MRI on his hip. It's clean, but he's probably going to miss a game, maybe 2. Might be back for the Chargers, but I think if they're smart, they should sit him at least 1 week and let him rest up. Saints at the Titans, 21-23, great game. If you watched my previous episode on the spreads and bets for the week, for week 10, you'll see that I nailed the Saints spread here. Anytime the Saints get +3, you just take it. They're always going to win or lose that game by 3 points. The quarterback situation is obviously strange. You got Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill. But you know what? Siemian spread the ball around really well. There was no real main target. He hit Traquan Smith. He hit Callaway and Harris. He moved the ball pretty well. On the other side of the ball, Ryan Tannehill did his thing, controlled the ball, play action, hit some deep targets, just did what he did. My question to you guys is: Are the Titans as good as their record? I don't know if they are. 8-2, best in the AFC right now. I think they've overcome some crazy things. A lot of injuries, a lot of stuff going on in their organization right now. But I don't know if 8-2 is really kind of where they deserve to be. But they keep getting shit done even with the injuries. So who knows? And lastly, the last touching point on this game is good to see Mark Ingram reunited. It's good to see him. As a fan who got to watch him play for the Ravens for a couple years and do well there, it's good to see him go back to New Orleans where he started it all and go out there and produce. Good for him. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Washington Reds. Oh my goodness, I almost said it. At the Washington Football Team. 19-29. This spread, this is what they thought the game would be the other way around. They thought it was going to be Bucks 29 and the Washington Football Team 19. Nope, not today. Brady threw picks. He looked pretty rough for most of the game. Washington looked really well put together. They looked amazing on defense. Antonio Gibson is back. He only had 64 yards, but he got in the end zone 2 times. And I think Washington might have set a record for like the longest drive in NFL history in that fourth quarter. Like, I think it was the whole quarter. They just didn't give Tom Brady a shot at a 2-minute drill at all. Some more news. DeAndre Carter, wide receiver for Washington, could be usable going forward. I don't know. I mean, not a phenomenal offense, but they put up some points. And lastly, Chase Young is out for the year with an ACL tear. Absolutely got like huge gut punched for Washington. Just twist the knife. Not fun. Carolina Panthers at the Arizona Cardinals, 34-10. I'm back. Cam Newton gets it done. 2 touchdowns. What's really cool is he's back again this year against the Cardinals. His first ever game he played in, he won against the Cardinals. That was kind of cool. So welcome back to the NFL, big guy. In other news, McCaffrey doesn't need to find the end zone to be worthy of fantasy. He was 10 of 10 receptions, so that's pretty nice. He had 150 plus total yards. Unbelievable. Robbie Anderson saw a resurgence in this game. Not so great for the DJ Moore owners out there. Chuba Hubbard got some work as well. James Conner, keep playing him. The guy is the only thing they've got right now, and honestly, the Cards need Kyler Murray back. They're slipping. They're also 8-2, good record, and their upcoming schedule looks really, really good. So it's good for them in general. But man, I feel like Murray could probably play, but they don't need to play him. So why put him in right now? They just don't need to. The Vikings at the Chargers. Vikings win 27-20. This game went exactly as you'd expect. Game script. Your all-stars did things exactly what you'd expect. Dalvin Cook put on a show. Austin Eckler did his thing. Justin Jefferson got peppered with targets. How many did he catch? He caught 9 of 11 for 143 yards. The guy catches everything. His hands are glue. On the other side of the ball, though, Keenan Allen, same shit. 8 of 11. Caught everything coming his way. Put up some good fantasy points. And then your secondary receivers, Thielen and Williams, they had mediocre, good games. The game went to script is what it did. That being said, out of everything I hear, I honestly want to say that I think that you got to go get Tyler Conklin. The guy looks like a stud. He is catching balls, even balls he shouldn't be catching. He's bringing them in the end zone. Go get him. Philly at Denver. This game was a pick'em again. So if you would have seen the previous video, +1 for the Eagles. And if I see 2 teams that are super even like that, and I think they're the same team, you just take the plus points. But this was lopsided. The big thing, the big debacle in this game, obviously Teddy Bridgewater, rather. just kind of pulling back and not really attempting at all to tackle Darius Slay on the fumble return touchdown. It's kind of a real bum move by him. That could have kept the Broncos in the game. Anyways, Teddy says the next time he's going to tackle the guy. What do you guys think out there? Should quarterbacks make the tackle and put themselves at risk of injury or not? Devonta Smith is a rookie sensation. The guy's awesome. Him and Jamar Chase living up to their hype. Good for them both. Yeah. And that being said, that was Jalen Hurts is looking like a better quarterback outside of fantasy. He actually looks like a decent NFL quarterback when he's targeting Devonta Smith. He needs to stop giving the ball to Reagor, and he needs to stop giving the ball to Watkins. I see Quentez as I read Devonta Smith. Don't give the ball to Watkins. Don't give the ball to Reagor. Just give the ball to Devonta Smith. And then lastly, Dallas Goedert did have a good start to the game, but he was out with a concussion. He should be back next week against New Orleans. Sorry. 3 more to go. This was a real snooze fest. No one thought it was going to be 0-17 for Seattle going into Green Bay. This was looking like a snowball. So it was going to be a run-heavy game, and it ended up being a run-heavy game anyways. I think Wilson came back too early. Let me know what you guys think. I think that Russell Wilson came back too early. He did not target his studs. DK and Lockett just did not see nearly enough action. And when he did target them, it wasn't. They were very, very poor candidates of targets too. So they didn't run the ball. They couldn't do anything really. The big news in this game, obviously, Packers win the game, puts them into 8-2, which good job for the Packers. But Aaron Jones sprained MCL, out for a couple weeks. I hope you started AJ Dillon because the guy went off. My notes here say to read the stats. So, AJ Dillon, 21 carries, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 of 2 receptions for 62 yards, and that one reception was a 40-pluser. 26.8 fantasy points. Stat. Are the Seahawks done this year? Probably. That division's tough. Probably the toughest in football. And they're 3-6. Let me know what you guys think. Can they come back and rally? Hope so. Oh, Sunday Night Football. Everyone was counting the Chiefs out. 41-14. Mahomes is back. He had 400-plus yards and 5 touchdowns. Derek Carr, serviceable. Good quarterback, especially for fantasy. Play him. Looks good. Damian Williams had a game. 144 total yards and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs did not have a game. I think going forward, from what is played out, it looks like Jacobs is super startable in a game script where you're guaranteed to have a lead, where Vegas is guaranteed to have a lead. If they can get up and they can just hand him the ball over and over, he's going to do good. If the matchup seems unfavorable, I just don't think you can start him. It's weird. It's just he's a talented guy, but it's not great for that team. In other news, Brian Edwards of the Raiders excites me for Dynasty. I think the guy is super talented, and I think he could easily be the wide receiver 1 there going forward. He looks awesome. Darren Waller, awful last few weeks, man. I don't know. If you had Darren Waller and you started him off this year, you're like, hell yeah, I got the diamond in the rough. I got the needle in the haystack, the tight end that's gonna win me the league. Man, defenses have figured him out. I think they just double and triple team him, and then what do the Raiders do? Nothing. They can't move the ball without him being open. It's tough. What was my last notes here? Kelsey and Hill did Kelsey and Hill things. They're back. Don't count out the Chiefs, man. This game, I love this. This game was fun to watch. Rams at the Niners, 10-31. This game was all about game script, okay? The Niners stuck to the run game, and did they ever stick to it? And the Rams couldn't do anything on defense because they couldn't disrupt any passing because the Niners wouldn't pass the ball. Garoppolo threw the ball 19 times. And he probably didn't need to do it that much, to be honest. If the Rams have Aaron Donald, and they have Von Miller, and they have Jalen Ramsey. These are the three best at their position, arguably, right? But if they can't get to the quarterback and disrupt them and cause them to be impatient and throw an interception or make mistakes, it just shows you that if you stick to a game script, you can beat a really good team. That brings San Francisco to 4-5, and it brings the Rams down to 7-3. So it gives Arizona that one step up, which is good for them. What else do I have for notes here? Stafford to Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know. Like, is Odell Beckham, like, anywhere he goes, like, bad things happen? Is he just cursed? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not a fan. I think he's washed up. But he now is going to inherit Robert Woods' position. I hope Van Jefferson can sneak in there and get more reps than Odell. And I think that the Rams would be smart to do it that way, but I just don't think that's how it's going to go. And it looks like they really do miss Robert Woods. Deebo Samuel, he's a beast. This guy is incredible, setting records, beating Jerry Rice. Hit 30 fantasy points. Again, my notes say read stat line, so let's go ahead and do that. 5 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. 5 of 5. He only caught the ball 5 times. He got thrown the ball 5 times, but he caught all 5 for 97 yards and a touchdown. And one of those was over 40 yards. Guy is a beast, man. Give him the ball. Just give him the ball. You can't tackle him. His first point of contact, you're never putting him down. Incredible. On the other side of the ball, wide receiver Cooper Kupp. It's crazy how the guy went 11 for 13 and 122 yards, and you still somehow feel disappointed in him because he's had such a crazy, crazy season. Stafford's going to keep throwing them the ball. I think Van Jefferson should see some uptick, so maybe if you can get your hands on him, go do it. And it was good to see George Kittle do George Kittle things too. He had 14 fantasy points, caught 5 balls, got a touchdown. He's out there blocking like a monster. It was good to see the Niners pull out that upset. Even though I think the Niners have won the last 4 games against the Rams at home too. So anyway, that's how it be. So that'll do it, sports fans. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Small Stories Around the NFL. I am your host, Dave. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up, as it really does help support the channel. And if you want to follow along to hear my NFL stories and my spreads and moneyline bets each week, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Maybe even share to a friend so you'll know when I post my next video. I'm out.